The Season 1 Reloaded update removed a few guns from rank play, completely changing up the meta, but now everyone's rocking the wrong build. So for you today, I have the updated best meta weapons with the best classes that you should be using in rank play. With the first weapon being an honorable mention of the C9, otherwise known as the MP5. So you see a lot of people just rocking the JACKAL. There's another SMG, and this SMG can actually compete with it. There's no recoil with this build. It is so satisfying. You have a lot of mobility, and it just feels amazing. So I got you guys a very good no recoil build. That being said, I will be going over a gunfighter and a 5 attachment version. That being said, you should always rock the 5 attachment versions. Like for the JACKAL, for example, we're always rocking the flat jacket, the fast hands, the double time, and the ninja. A lot of enemies have their headsets turned up to the max, making it so they can hear you spawn in. This is going to make it so they don't really see you moving. I mean, they don't hear you moving around the map. And then if you don't really care about ninja, you could throw on the attack mask. This is going to make it so now the enemies can't really stun you. You got the flat jacket, they can't really nade you. And so that's a pretty good combo on there. And then we always rock the concussion. With the grenades, there's actually a glitch to where the frag grenade, if you have flat jacket, it won't kill you, but if it rolls under you, so if it's touching you, you will die. Just like kind of how the Semtex, if it touches you, then you are dead, but if it's just near you, the flat jacket will save you. For the field upgrade, you always want to rock the trophy system. Sometimes the assault pack can be good, but for the most part, you want to rock that trophy system. Now, for the first gun on this list, it's going to be the C9. For the 5 attachment build, you want to rock the compensator. On most of the SMGs, you want to use the compensator. It just gives you a good general boost to that recoil control. The bolt velocity naturally is already pretty good, so you're going to get more value out of adding the long barrel. Since the ARs are so dominant, this is going to allow you to actually be able to compete with them. And then for the underbarrel, we do have the vertical foregrip. I did want to use the Ranger foregrip, and that's like one downside of the C9 compared to the JACKAL is that you can't move as fast, but you do have a lot of recoil control with the vertical, and you already have a pretty good amount of mobility with the weapon. Now for the rear grip, we are adding the ergonomic grip. This is going to cut off those delays, allowing you to slide with no problem, dive, and then you have a little bit of a faster ADS speed. In this game, no matter what you do, there is going to be a delay. Like if you jump ADS or jump fire, there's a delay, which is why the short barrel can be very beneficial, but you need the extra damage range. So now our effective damage range is going to be about 20 meters, which is pretty good. And then lastly, for the stock, you guys can add the balanced if you want, but the infiltrator stock makes this feel like an OG MP5. You have such a fast strafe speed, and it just looks really cool, and I just do very well with this build, so definitely try out this one. Now for the 8 attachment build, I like the iron sights. I do better with the iron sights, but if you want to add an optic, obviously you can add the Kepler micro flex. And then for the mods, you could do the overpressure, but it's a little bit more satisfying to add the recoil springs and then do the Ranger foregrip, so now you can move around a little bit faster without really chalking your recoil control on the gun. As you guys can see, it's super easy to use. It's my favorite gunfighter build. Now for the first gun on this list, this is going to be the JACKAL. I have another SMG that's pretty good, but this is going to be the best SMG. No recoil, very fast sprint out TTK, and it's just super simple to use, but it's only easy to use because we have the compensator, again, adding a lot of vertical recoil control. It also adds a lot of gun kick control, so that shake that you see, it removes that, and so now there's just gonna be, it's gonna be really easy to use. And then for the underbarrel, to take care of that horizontal, that side to side bounce, we are using the Ranger foregrip. This is one benefit of the JACKAL, is that there's not that much recoil, so you can get away with the Ranger. Although if you do miss your shots, or you're not like that good, maybe you're gold and below, don't mean that you're not that good, but you know, if you're not in the higher ranks, you might want to use the vertical foregrip. This is just going to give you that maximum amount of recoil control. Once you're very used to the vertical, then you can try out the Ranger. Again, for the barrel, we do have the long barrel, increasing that effective damage range to 20.6 meters. The MP5 has an effective of like 19.5, so you can see this thing has a little bit more range. And then again, for the rear grip, we are using the ergonomic, increase that slide of fire, that die to fire speed, or I guess making it quicker. And then we're going to be able to make the weapon snappier. For the stock, we are using the balanced stock. This is what all the pros use on here, and I really like the balanced on this gun because, as you guys can see, we get double arrows. On some of the guns, we only get a single arrow, to where it doesn't help that much, and so this is just going to give us a general boost to all types of strafe speed, your hip fire, your ADS number. It doesn't matter what you're doing, you're going to have a fast strafe speed. Now for the 8 attachment build, for the fire mods, we are going to be adding the overpressured rounds. You don't really need to add the recoil springs because there's not that much recoil, so overpressured rounds will benefit you more. And remember, you do have to add the gunfighter wildcard if you want to run 8. And then for the for the optic, we are using the Kepler micro flex. Here's the 8 attachment build. Now for the next gun on this list, this is going to be the KVS, the CVS. This is a gun that's pretty underrated and recently just got a damage range buff. You guys can see there's no recoil. You have a lot of mobility and a pretty fast fire rate, to where Havoc, the #1 player, he's been rocking this gun a lot, and so definitely try it out. The Jackal is a little bit better, but this one's still worth a try. Who knows, you might do a little bit better with this one. Now again, we do have the compensator, and then as you guys can see, we get a pretty big boost. We get a 34% increase and a 35% increase for that recoil gun kick and the vertical recoil control, and then we're getting that 20% for the horizontal from the underbarrel. There's not that much recoil on the gun, so you can get away with the Ranger forward. It says that it increases that sprinting movement speed, but it also increases that tactical sprint speed, so overall you're going to feel a whole lot lighter on the map. The damage range isn't the best, so we do have to add the long barrel. That is what got buffed on all the SMGs recently. They increased that damage range, and so this is just going to make it even better, making it so it's a little bit easier to compete with those ARs. For the rear grip, again, ergonomic grip. If you're ever playing aggressive, you typically always want to use the ergonomics, since you want to cut down those delays. You're going to be sliding into all your gunfights, or you basically should be, and so this is going to make it so you actually can win those. Now for the stock, again, we have the balanced stock. I know we don't have double arrows on all of them, but we have 3 of them with the double arrows, so it's going to be good enough, although the infiltrator stock is pretty good. With all that said though, here's the 5 attachment build, and then for the 8 attachment build, we are going to be adding the overpressured rounds. You don't really need these, and so per greed, you're definitely going to get more value out of it, but with this one, you're not going to really need to lead your shots at range. You're going to have hit scan up to about like 30 or 35 meters, which is more than enough for an SMG. So now you're going to have very good hit registration while also having a lot of damage. And then again, you can add the coupler or an optic of your choice. Still, I really like those iron sights. This is going to be the best 8 attachment build. Now for a very important part of this video, this is going to be the AMES 85, the best AR. Some people do like the GPR a little bit more, so if you want that, we'll give you guys that as a bonus class, but this is going to be the best AR. Super easy to use, no recoil, pretty good damage, although you cannot rush with this gun. You got to keep your engagements at like 25 meters or more, because that's when the gun's going to shine. Up close, you're going to get fried by jackals and things like that, and so really make sure you're cutting the map, taking those wide angles. You don't really want to play aggressive with this gun. Now the porta compensator is going to be very good because it gives you like basically no recoil for the first like 5 to 10 shots. You typically only need that many shots to kill the enemy, unless you're not that good at the game. In that case, you might want to use the compensator. It gives you a general better boost to that recoil control. And then for the barrel, we are using the long barrel instead of the reinforced. So if we look at that damage range, I thought it was bugged. It says 19.8 meters, but it's actually supposed to be like that. We take off the barrel, it is now 15.2 meters, and so you're only going to be able to get a 4-shot kill if you mix in some headshots up to 15.2. But if you add the long barrel, now you get that 4-shot kill up to about 20 meters, and then after that, it's going to be no matter what a 5-shot kill, even at like 90 meters. And so definitely use the long barrel on there, which then we might be lacking on the bullet velocity. If we look at the bullet velocity now, it's going to be 760 meters per second, and so around like 40 meters, you're gonna have to lead your shots. It's gonna feel like you're getting ghost bullets. But if you go ahead and add the overpressured rounds, it increases that bullet velocity to 950, making it so we never really need to lead our shots. We should have hits getting up to about like 50 meters, which is more than enough for this gun. And so now it's gonna feel like you're playing on that better ping. And then usually I would add the quick draw grip, but the ADS speed really isn't that bad on the gun. And for the times that I do slide or I do play aggressive, because the gun's so weak, I need to make sure there's no delay whatsoever. This is going to make it so that delay is gone, increase that slide to fire speed as well as the dive to fire, and then you also can, you know, ADS a little bit faster. And then the iron sights really aren't that good, or they're not bad. Actually, they are bad, but the coupler and just optics on your long range gun is super important because you need to be able to have that precision sight. Make sure you don't miss. You're going to be killing enemies off headies across the map, and so this is going to be the best 5 attachment build. If you do want to rock the 8 attachments, we are going to be going over and adding the Ranger foregrip. There's not that much recoil. There's no recoil on the weapon, so you don't really need an underbarrel, so that's why we might as well just add the Ranger so we can move around a little bit faster. For the stock, we are going to be adding the combat stock. This one I like because it gives you a little bit of strafe speed, as well as makes it so the enemies, like when they shoot at you, your screen isn't going to shake at all, and making it a little bit easier to stay on target and helps you out in those close engagements, you know, across the map. That's going to be the best 8 attachment build, which basically wraps it up for this video. Now I'm going to give you one bonus class, the GPR, if you want to mix things up. This one's very good if you can hit some headshots. If you guys do find this video helpful, a subscription will be appreciated for yourself. Turn on those noties, and a like is appreciated for myself. Helps push the video out to more people. Now for this class, it's going to be pretty similar. We got the long barrel on there, making it so we just have a little bit more of a damage range, making it so it can be a little bit better than the AMES in certain scenarios. There's not really any recoil on this gun. For the muzzle, we do have the porta compensator. I didn't mean to have the compensator on there. This again, same reasons as the AMES. On the barrel, you want to use the vertical rear grip, the quick draw grip, just because the ADS speed, actually no, the ADS speed is really good on this gun. Sorry for making this a little confusing. So this now already has a really good ADS speed, so might as well increase that slide to fire speed. same reasons as we did for the AMES. And then the optic, we want to use the Kepler since the iron sights aren't that good. This is going to be the best 5 attachment build. Keep in mind the bolt velocity isn't going to be that good, and that's one reason why the AMES is a little bit better. I did try to take off the underbarrel and add the overpressured rounds, but it just it bounced around a little bit too much. And so if you are getting a lot of ghost bullets, you could go over here and then add the reinforced barrel. Just keep in mind your damage range isn't going to be as good, so it might take an extra shot in some scenarios. Now for the 8 attachment build, we can just add the overpressured rounds, and then we can use the long barrel. So now statistically it's going to be maxed out. And for the stock, again, we're going to be using that combat stock, which actually gives us a lot of strafe speed and a lot of flinch resistance since we got the double arrows right there. With all that said, here's the class. And if you guys are curious of my secondary, we got the Strider 22. Usually I'll take off the optic, but sometimes I do like an optic on there. Doesn't really matter too much. If you guys are curious, my current rank, we're Crimson 1. I know we're not iridescent yet. I should be. A lot of hackers, a lot of bugs, and I really haven't been playing that much. But I hope this video was helpful, and deuces.